My savings of $40,000 disappeared.
I gave it all to Mom. You got any complaints? We're getting divorced then.
But I've already filed for divorce.
What?
Trouble Busters!
My name is Helen and I'm 30 years old. My husband Mark is also 30 years old and we've been married for 3 years. We have one daughter and her name is Sadie. Mark is a huge mama's boy and my mother-in-law, Mrs. Megan Thompson, is 63 years old and quite toxic to say the least. And this characteristic of hers is the cause of this huge incident. I'm home. I'm going to make some food now. What? My savings of $40,000 disappeared.
I gave it all to Mom. You got any complaints? We're getting divorced then.
And I'd been withdrawing the savings I had saved up before we got married from the bank, all of my daughter's sake. I never expected him to touch that money. But there were signs, I suppose. See, a while ago, I withdrew $20,000 for the French program. This is for the sake of my lovely daughter.
I'm home, but what in the world is that money?
Oh, this? This is just some of my money I'd saved before I married you.
I see. Now let's get Mom to go on a trip abroad with this.
What? What are you talking about? This is the money to get Sadie a French program.
French? Can't she just start learning in junior high school like everyone else?
What are you saying? We live in an era where language education begins in kindergarten, Mark.
Well, sure, but you don't have to spend that much money.
If you pay it all at once, it'll cost you 40 grand.
40 grand? That's preposterous.
It's true.
I'm saying it's a big mistake to use that kind of money for Sadie.
Huh? She is family. She is our daughter. It's axiomatic for parents to spend money on their children.
If you're gonna use it on your family, you should consider your priorities and use it on Mom first.
What? Well, what about your mother?
Wait, are you really trying to say that Mom isn't a part of your family?
No, it's not that. I'm just wondering why you placed her as a priority higher than Sadie.
But of course she is, because she's the oldest after all.
What the... But listen. But it would be better for Sadie if she started learning French at this stage of her life. So I think Sadie ought to be prioritized here.
I don't care. Get your money ready.
The hell you don't care? No way I just heard my husband say his mother is more important than his daughter. Seriously don't believe it's a good idea to even include Mrs. Thompson as a part of the family, and I sure as hell don't understand why she's said to have a higher priority than Sadie. I'm sorry, I cannot understand what you're saying.
That's something I've always hated.
Oh, really?
What's with that attitude? You really think I'm joking here?
Nope, not at all.
I was seriously thinking about this.
Well, that said, Mark thrust a sheet of paper in front of me. What? A divorce form?
Indeed. If you don't change your attitude anytime soon, I'll be filing for divorce.
Huh? And it's already filled out.
Convinced that I'm serious yet? If you don't want to get divorced, be careful about your future actions, yeah?
Made 0 sense. If I don't change my attitude, I'll get divorced. Filled out divorce form to prove he's serious. It was so troublesome that I thought for a brief moment that I maybe should get a divorce. But I can't because of financial reasons. I thought it would be very difficult to raise Sadie on my own, so I decided against it for a time. But I just couldn't take it anymore, and I called my friend Melanie, who's a lawyer.
Hello? Helen, honey, it's been a while.
Melanie, darling, listen to me a moment.
What's going on?
So actually, I did my best to complain to Melanie about what was said today.
I cannot believe it.
Right? But I don't know what to do.
Do you have any intention of getting a divorce?
If he's such a dastardly husband like that, yes, I would divorce him. But
what's wrong?
Honestly, I can't move forward with a divorce because of financial considerations.
I see. So if the financial problems can be resolved, do you intend to divorce?
Of course.
In that case,
Melanie told me of a certain strategy. The content was such that I would be able to live financially well even if I divorced Mark. You can seriously do that?
However, you will not be able to double back once we proceed, so you may want to reconsider whether you want to do it or not.
Understood, ma'am. With that in mind, I'll think about it again.
Please let me know if you decide to move forward.
Thanks so much. A few days later, there were signs of an attempt to force the safe where I kept the money I had withdrawn from the bank for Sadie's French program. There can be no excuses for this. All I have to do now is prepare myself. With that in mind, I contacted Melanie. Unforgivable. Troublebusters initiate. A month later, a burglary where the money was stolen from the safe. My savings of $40,000 disappeared.
I gave it all to Mom. You got any complaints? We're getting divorced then.
But I've already filed for divorce.
What?
Because it seems like that's what you wanted, so I submitted it for you.
Wait a minute. Are you serious?
What are you on about? Didn't you say you wanted a divorce?
That's only if you don't change your attitude around here.
And that's exactly why I filed for divorce.
Huh?
We both agree, right?
The hell do you mean? Does that mean you have no intention of changing your attitude?
You're more than welcome to think that way.
In what world is there a wife who doesn't respect her husband's parents?
I'm not saying that I don't value your mother, Mark.
Huh?
However, I do not accept the idea that Mrs. Thompson should be prioritized above your own daughter.
Any common wife does that, though. I've always been told to respect anyone's parents. I have no intention of changing that ideology.
And I'm telling you, that's exactly why I filed for divorce, since we both agree we can't change.
That's so stupid. Wait a minute.
Hmm?
How did you get that divorce form, eh? Didn't you fill it out all yourself? Then that's invalid.
Let me explain that part to you, sir. Melanie! At this point, my angelic savior Melanie finally stepped in to help me out.
Who the hell are you?
My name is Melanie Smith, and I'm a friend of Helen's.
The hell is your business here?
Miss Helen had consulted me about you, and per her request, I was the one who confirmed the situation and recommended she file for divorce.
What? So it was you who deemed it frickin' appropriate for her to do such a thing?
Appropriate?
Hell yeah, appropriate. This kind of stupid divorce is invalid.
Why?
Isn't it obvious? I never knew that it was submitted.
But you were the gentleman who said you wanted a divorce, correct?
That was only just words.
Just words? You said you were serious about divorcing Helen if she never changed her attitude and put your mother first, did you not?
Yes, that's right. That's why it would have been better if Helen had simply changed.
On the other hand, if she wasn't willing to change, you were thinking of getting divorced, correct?
Huh? I won't let you do that.
No, I'm asking what you would do if she never agreed to change.
I would have just kept on saying it over and over again until she finally changes.
So you were just threatening her then?
What? That's not what I meant.
Well then, consider the scenario where you had kept on telling her to change and she refused. What then?
I'll throw away that kind of piece of shit myself.
I thought so, sir. We came upon the conclusion that Helen had no intention of changing this time, so she just filed for divorce as you requested. Is there any problem?
What? Even if that's the case, you forged the divorce papers. That should be invalid.
Did you forge it? I did not, ma'am. I just used the divorce form you presented with me. You left it on the table that day.
Shit.
So I hadn't forged anything. It's definitely handwritten with your own intentions in mind.
But that was quite a while ago. I'm now starting to feel like I'm changing my mind a little.
I really don't understand what you mean. It was only a few days after you confronted Helen with the form that she filed for divorce.
What the?
Even I couldn't imagine that your ideologies would change by that stage, and based on what she told me, I took that proposal for divorce to be serious. We only took action based on these foundations.
But that was all.
Or was it a lie about wanting a divorce?
Huh?
If you were trying to deceive Helen with a lie, that would create a different problem altogether.
It wasn't a lie, exactly. But I didn't mean it that seriously.
If so, please prove that you were never serious about the divorce.
Huh?
We have submitted the divorce form under the impression that your intention to divorce was serious. If you say that it was a mistake, you have the responsibility of providing solid proof of your intentions.
The hell is this chick?
Anything else? Any counter-argument?
Enough! This is so stupid. Helen, I don't care what happens to you. Get out!
But now that's not how it works. You're the one leaving, you know.
What the frick? This apartment is mine!
That's right, but you know.
What now?
I shall also explain this point to you.
Oh, frickin' you again?
There was a time a while ago when you needed money to help your mother.
Huh? Well, yeah, at that time, Mom said she wanted to travel around the world, so I thought I'd do something about it.
That's what I've heard indeed.
But I've already used that money, so all's well.
There are many things regarding this matter, though.
Huh?
At the time, you told Helen that you don't care and that she should get her money ready, correct?
Huh? Well, sure, I did tell her that at the time, but as I've told you, I don't need it anymore.
But you see, things aren't so easy, Mr. Thompson.
What do you mean?
Helen consulted me about this as well, and we proceeded to discuss a secured real estate loan. Helen explained this to you, did she not?
Huh? Well, oh, yeah, I think she did actually.
So we went on with the procedure.
What? That can't be true.
No, sir. We have solidly received a power of attorney contract from you, fair and square.
A power of attorney contract? The hell is that?
Come to think of it, I haven't introduced myself properly. My name is Melanie, and I'm a lawyer.
Lawyer?
Helen gave you a power of attorney agreement and you filled it out, right?
I do remember writing it.
And that's precisely why I went ahead with the procedure for the secured real estate loan.
Hold on a minute. Until now, the money from that real estate mortgage has not come to me, you know?
That's when Miss Helen here made a suggestion.
Helen did?
When choosing a contractor, if you use a financial institution, that will incur interest charges. But if I use my savings, there will be no interest, so she thought it would be better to use her savings instead.
I agree with that idea. Damn, Helen, you proved yourself for once. Unusual.
I thought it was a grand idea myself, so we proceeded to give the loan to Miss Helen personally.
Then there's no problem, right?
There isn't, but for the fact that the money was in that state,
Then there's even less of a problem.
there isn't, if you pay it all back properly.
Pay it back? Why do I have to pay it all back?
Why, you ask? Well, common knowledge tells us that you have to return what you borrowed after all.
No. That doesn't matter when it comes to husband and wife.
I think there's a certain amount of grace between husband and wife, but at that point you were no longer a husband and wife, were you?
Oh?
So you need to pay that 40 grand back to Miss Helen.
Even if you say that, I can't, because I've already used it.
I see.
Too bad for you.
By the way, did you read the explanation of the contract that I sent to you? Yes, I'm talking about the power of attorney stuff.
Hell if I know.
I have definitely sent it to you. I sent it by registered mail to preserve evidence as well.
Registered mail? Yeah, I believe I got something like that.
Then I believe you read it carefully.
There's no way I'm gonna read such a boring thing.
I had specified that the repayment deadline would be the end of the month in which you took the money, but as of today, 24 hours has passed since the deadline. Are you able to repay everything?
And I'm telling you, as I said earlier, that it's impossible because I've already used the money for Mom and I don't have it at hand now.
I understand. We are left with no options.
Giving up, are you?
I'll foreclose on the penthouse.
Huh? What load of horseshit are you saying now?
Horseshit, you say, sir. This is a legitimate right.
There ain't no way! Without permission!
Permission isn't required, sir. The property will be seized based on the law.
What?
Helen invested 40 grand using this apartment as collateral.
Wait, that's what you just said, right?
No, sir, this is different. This is a lien of mortgage.
Excuse me.
And this is the official registration as proof of that. In layman's terms, you are currently borrowing $40,000 from Helen using this penthouse as collateral.
Damn, it is true that a mortgage has been made.
And the repayment deadline for the borrowed money was yesterday. Therefore, it's overdue.
Wait a moment!
What is it, sir?
Just so I know, what will happen if I don't pay it back?
As I said earlier, this residence will be foreclosed on.
But I'm still living here!
Then all that's left for you to do is get out.
Understood. Please wait some time. I will try to find ways to refund your money.
I think that will be difficult.
Why?
The repayment deadline was promised to be yesterday.
But I didn't know that.
I'd prepared a well-documented money loan agreement and sent it to you, sir. It's your fault for not reading it.
But that's...
You could have been facing less charges if you hadn't touched the money yet, but you did you not?
Because I didn't think I was borrowing money.
Does that mean you took it without permission? Taking any stranger's money without their permission is legitimate theft, Mr. Thompson. Since you two are no longer a married couple, I believe this means you took someone else's money without their permission, you see?
No, that's...
Which was it then, sir? Did you borrow the money or did you take the money?
I was borrowing it.
Good answer. I believe you had an understanding that you were borrowing money. Abiding by a contract?
Yes.
And yet it doesn't make sense that you didn't know about the repayment deadline.
That's...
I was only asked to do this as a lawyer to my client. It is all up to Helen, who lent the money, to decide whether or not to foreclose this residence.
Helen, this is all my fault. I'll give you the money back, so please wait a while.
Seems like you finally realized the severity of the situation, eh?
I was truly in the wrong.
About what?
Huh? About how I took the money without permission?
Is that it?
Yes, that's it. Other than that, I haven't done anything terrible.
Understood. Melanie, you may proceed with the foreclosing of this place. Copy that, Miss Helen.
Hey, why?
What I couldn't forgive you for was your mother, Mark.
Mom?
I do think it's very important for anyone to care for their mother, but you're already my husband and Sadie's father. This was the family you were supposed to protect.
So you're suggesting I abandon Mom?
That's not it. I've said that it's good to cherish your mother, didn't I? But isn't she in our life simply because we got married?
Then you're suggesting I look down upon Mom as a lesser priority.
Well then, let me ask you differently. Did you cherish Sadie and I as much as you did your mother?
What? That's...
There you go. That's why I filed for divorce.
Wait a minute! I swear, I'll change!
Shut up! I'm saying I cannot have a married life with someone who doesn't even have the common sense of walrus blubber.
I don't understand that aspect unless I'm told about it, though. I was just told and I'm willing to change.
Too freaking late! Normally people make up their mind before getting married. It's too late to change your mind after getting married. And having a baby, too.
But...
No buts! And besides, since you weren't even aware of it until just now, even if things changed, it would definitely only be temporary, and we would be the ones having a hard time.
Well then...
The penthouse will be foreclosed. On top of that, I'll also be demanding alimony for the divorce and child support for Sadie, so it might not be enough to just seize the residence.
So you're gonna steal my house and demand me more money?
It can't be helped because it's a seed that you frickin' sowed yourself, eh?
Please, reconsider all of this.
Oh, hell nah. See ya, sucker.
Helen! Wait, please!
After that, I asked Melanie to put the penthouse in my name and kicked Mark out. Of course, because I demanded additional alimony and child support to be paid in a lump sum, he ended up shouldering a considerable amount of debt. He managed to repay the debt he owed us in a lump sum using his retirement allowance, but he no longer has any money and is now living on the streets apparently. And as for us, since then, we've been able to live a comfortable life, and the strange stress that we were feeling from Mark had disappeared overnight. It's a wonderful life. I purchased the French program, and Sadie is steadily improving her French skills. And I'm excited that she might be able to become an interpreter in the future. Troublebusters.